This is verse 3 of the third chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew is now introducing John the Baptist, and he in this verse is going to tie John the Baptist to the prophetic material that we find in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament. So he says hutos, demonstrative pronoun, masculine, singular, nominative, referring to the character that was mentioned in the preceding verse. So this or this one, gar, postpositive, for this one, esten, from ame, I am, third person singular, present active indicative. So this is, and then ho, the article used with a participle. This rethes is from reo. It is a sort of a synonym to lego, to say, a little less common. But Matthew's been using it several times here in the opening chapters of his book. This is the aorist passive participle, masculine singular nominative, so it's going along with John the Baptist, the one that he's describing. This is the having been spoken would be the idea. Reo is actually connected to rhema, which means a word, so we'd probably insert in it impliedly the idea of a word. This is the having been spoken word, something like that, the aorist participle. Dia, preposition, takes the genitive, dia, through Isaiah, through Isaiah, and then describing it further, to prophetu, the prophet. So it is the word that was spoken through Isaiah the prophet. Now, legontes, from lego, I say, this is the present participle, masculine singular, nominative. So the word, the having been spoken word through the prophet saying, and then phone, this is the word for a sound or a voice, voice, in the nominative, boontos. Boontos is from boao. It literally means to just cry out, to sort of isolated sound you can imagine, crying out. So voice, crying out. In preposition with the dative te eremo, a voice crying out, the sound of a crying out voice in the wilderness. Hetoimaseta, this is from hetoimazo, it means to prepare. This is the second person plural aorist active imperative, so prepare. Tain, the direct object, the accusative, singular, feminine of hodon, which is a feminine noun of the second declension rather. So prepare, tain hodon, the way, kyriou, of Lord. Prepare the way of the Lord, comma, and then utheos. This is actually related to the word uthus or utheos, which both of them mean immediately, normally used in the New Testament for the significance of time. Favorite word that's used by Mark, for example, but this is, of course, an adjective here. Straight would be the idea, but straight in the connection of immediate, like the straightest distance between 2 points is a straight line, that's the idea. So there's an immediacy to it. So then poieta, make, from poieo, to make or to do, make straight, the adjective. Tas, the, in the plural, tribus, this is from tribos, which means a path, a rut, a well-worn way is the idea. So make straight or immediate, tas tribus, the ways or the paths out to of him. So it's, of course, the prophetic statement from Isaiah in the Old Testament, in which he famously refers to one that will be crying out in the wilderness, a kind of lonely voice. Prepare the way of the Lord, make straight his paths. And that was manifestly the way that John the Baptist identified himself, although at this point it seems to be John the Apostle who is describing John the Baptist in those memorable terms.